Condo, corner where we rise and grow. Twist and turn, let the passion flow. Condo, corner watch the future shine. Every scale a story, one of a kind.
From the shadows we move, striking out bright. In every twist we find the light. Breeding the best, gotta have patience in this game. Chondro Corner, where we make our name. Chondro Corner, Chondro Corner, Chondro Corner, Chondro Corner, Chondro Corner, Chondro Corner, Chondro Corner. Chondro Corner, where we rise and grow. Twist and turn, let the passion flow. Chondro Corner, watch the future shine. Every scale a story, one of a kind.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Chondro Corner. Tonight we have Jared coming on to join us. We're going to talk about what got him into green trees, originally what he's into now with his green trees, and even some branding updates. Before we bring him on, though, let's go through the comments real quick and just say a quick hello. Mike Duvall, thank you for tuning in as the early bird. 319 Reptiles, thank you for tuning in. Morph Mafia, thank you for coming in. Shauna, thank you as always. Love you, girl. Thank you, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and bring Jared on now so we can get this started. Hey, Jared, how's it going?
How's it going, everybody? Pretty good over here.
First of all, thank you for hopping on and doing this with me tonight.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. It's the first podcast that I've been on as a guest, I think maybe even since I started the genetic canvas. So I'm excited to be on the other side of the camera this time, the other seat.
It is different, isn't it? Like kind of flip-flopping back and forth.
Yeah, I don't have to have a game plan.
No, I honestly don't usually do one either. I just kind of wing it for the most part and just let it flow how it goes at this point. So as far as like podcasting, obviously, what made you say yes to doing the genetic canvas?
Well, the crazy thing is it was my idea. So, I felt that there was a void in the videos that I was watching, and just kind of like a collective place to highlight mutations with different breeders and try to put an updated spin on it. You know, like we always had the Morph 101 videos, and I think that was a real inspiration to me. I always watched those growing up and just kind of dive into the egg cutting videos, and then you kind of see it all spaced out now, and it's hard to really find one place where you can get a good variety of everything. And you know, we try to cover as much in one episode as we can, but we're going to circle back. There's always more content for every mutation. We're going to update the style of the future episodes and kind of maybe make them more targeted for like double foundations or something like that. Definitely have a lot going on in the works as far as brainstorming and pushing it further than I think a lot of people might think it may last, because there's only so many mutations out there, but there's also tons of other species and everything. But I just feel like I wanted to share my knowledge that I've collected over the years. I have different experiences. I wouldn't say any of them are specialties, other than I feel like I specialize in having an eye for things with the ball pythons and the morphs, and it's all I really try to show when I'm out there on the podcast is what I'm seeing. I try to call it for what I see, and all that just comes from, honestly, I owe it to the credit, a lot of it to the credit of all the breeders that put the videos out over the past 28, 30 years, because that's where you collect a lot of knowledge in this industry on any species. You know, somebody says, get into this species, you want to invest, do your research. I just feel like I'm one of the best students that invested finally.
Do you think that trickles into like some of the other species you keep, as far as just helping you have an eye for what you want to pick out?
I feel like it transitioned, and it's always a crapshoot with the green tree pythons, but it transitioned to like to selectively picking out neonates and things like that. When I had my bigger collection of designers back in the day, there was a lot of seller's remorse after I would show updates, things like that. Just got lucky, I would say, but with the green tree pythons, I feel like you learn over time if you watch different clutches hatch, the animals that come from that lineage, and you kind of see like, okay, this baby had a lot more red bleed into the diamonds, and it went really crazy through a really nice ontogenetic color change and held a lot of its pattern as an adult from that color change, and didn't lose as much melanism or gained more blue or whatever that is, that little detail. And you can kind of, I think we all try, all the breeders of green tree pythons especially try, and I can't include myself in that, I haven't bred yet, but hopefully one day. But even as a buyer, I feel like we all collectively try to look for those little things that enhance as they get older and point us to those keys as neonates. And the orange bleed is definitely one of them in a lot of designer stuff, like the tiger stripe back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, so even for me, when I just picked up like a VIAC import, there was the only reason why I jumped on it was because it was this like almost like a crimson red.
The darker.
The outlines around the diamonds up and down its dorsal were this crisp black, and then the diamonds themselves were almost like a marigold color. So I was like, the features on this, I'm hoping translate into a nice adult. And of course, now it's starting its OCC, and it's got all these black scales coming in and these super dark green and blue scales.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite thing with like the reds, especially, is like the yellows always tend to have a more consistent, bright coloration, like that highlighter yellow, and then the reds always have this variation between every single individual neonate, with not only the color but the patterns. You get those more reduced ones, like the Starry Night pattern, where the white or the yellow diamonds are so small that they almost are missing. And you always want the more melanistic neonates. That's what everybody likes to hold back and gatekeep, see what they change into.
But even some of those end up being kind of meh as adults. Not as often, but sometimes yeah. Sometimes people post them, and I'm like, man, the parents were amazing, but this animal is like...
Thanks, everybody in the chat, for jumping in.
Leaves something to be desired. So obviously, at one point, you sold your collection.
Yeah, so it was, I think, around 2015, I had gotten MRSA in my knee, and I actually had to cancel a transaction I was making with Ty over at TK Chondros, and man, did I miss out on a beautiful animal, because he held that thing back and it went through an amazing color change, lots of melanism. They have an amazing collection. I don't know if they're still around. I know they're still around. I talked to them, but I don't know if they're really actively breeding anymore. But yeah, shout out to TK and Ty and them. But I had the MRSA infection, which really kind of took me out of the buying game for the last few years. And then I had my son. And then once I had my son, I was like, all right, I need to just kind of focus my life up a little bit more. And because I was still a young adult, just kind of living a bachelor life with a bunch of snakes. So I was like, all right, let me kind of shape up a little bit, focus on being a dad. And then it always hurts when you sell out your collection. And I didn't even want to look at green tree pythons for a few years because it just made me sad that I didn't have mine that I built up anymore. But it's all part of it. We all have our ins and our outs that we go through. And, I made a story recently where it was like, this isn't just starting over. This is coming back with a whole new outlook and a whole new experience level. So I know how to keep these animals now. I know what I want to do as far as going forward with selecting the animals I hope to one day breed, because with green tree pythons, my original female that I had to sell in that collection sale went to Matt Minatola of Philadelphia Herp Culture, and he had that female until she was like 6 years old, 7 years old. He was finally getting around to wanting to pair her, and she ended up passing away before he got the chance to. So, you know, that can happen to you too, where you raise up a female for a long time, feel confident about her size and her health, and then something turns. And he did an biopsy on her, and there was no significant signs other than fatty liver. So I think we've seen that a few times with green tree python fatalities.
Pass away. So obviously then fast forward and you get back into the hobby. What was the first animal you picked up?
So the first one I actually don't have anymore. That was a pure Biak. That was a pure Biak from David Riley. You know, shout out to David. He had that U.S. captive bred clutch of, I think they're F1 Biaks. They may have both been U.S. captive bred adults. I don't remember offhand. But I saw U.S. captive bred Biak, and I was like, yeah, I want one of those. And I raised it up. It ended up being a male on a shed. So I was like, all right, well, we'll see about who wants it. And yeah, I mean, probable male, I put it down as, because it was about 100 grams, and I saw something that indicated it might have been. We actually had pictures of that I shared with you. It was a DR 2110, and then there was another picture of it with the over the flower background stretched out, and then another one in my hand where it was really light yellow, kind of showing the change that it went through.
So DR 2110. So well, here's the flower background.
Yeah, that's like the middle ground of its change while I had it, where it was kind of lightening up. It was a super vibrant red as a neonate. It was just a plain old background on a white perch. But yeah, you can see the yellow diamonds. And
Is that it now?
No, that's a different one.
He's like, no, that's a different one.
Hold on,
Get with the program, Jen. Get with the program.
I have it picked up right here. I can just show you. So it was down in the middle. It was this one here.
Oh, yeah. Here.
Yeah, that one there.
There we go.
Yeah, so that was that pure Biak. And you could see it has that half moon kind of offset diamond pattern. I really like that pattern with the Biaks. It's very traditional and classic. And when you see that, you know that it's from that area, I guess you could say, because the Pedido and gosh, there's so many other ones from over there. Pedido, help me out. What are some other ones over there with the Biak? Gosh, and they'll come to me. But yeah.
Well, what you have now though, like people post all the, so like you have somebody who posted even one that was a whole different name, but it's still from like the same areas like Maniquaries are from. So I'm like, we're breaking it down into almost like
sub-localities,
yeah,
specifics, and that kind of all started, I feel, more around the time I was getting like around the time I sold the collection. Like we were really getting into a focus of like there was more imports definitely coming in at that time out of Bushmaster from Cam and everything. I was on his list and got the Marukis a few times and ended up just raising them up. They ended up pretty green, so I sold them. I was really kind of hunting down one of those really white lined Marukis. Those are my favorites. Ryan Young. Oh, was it Ryan Young that was breeding the Marukis? Yes. I think it was Ryan Young that was breeding. Oh, no. It wasn't Ryan Young. Gosh, what was his name? It's off the top of my tongue, but in the people in the green tree python world, if you know what a Maruki green tree python is or a Maroc green tree python, It's a pure, like, emerald green body with just this single line of white scales in a stripe form. It's not always perfect, but the nicest ones are perfect stripes. And the Aussies, the Australian pythons, are the most similar. I almost feel like the Marukis were smuggled to Papua New Guinea on a boat from Australia. They're just so close. They came over the water somehow.
Yeah, there's no telling.
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, they're very similar to the Aussies, and I really like that too for that reason.
So you don't have your first one anymore. So what was the second one you picked up?
Yeah, so the second one that I got was from Carly, and
I'm gonna pull her lineage chart.
yeah, that animal has some really nice lineage. It was a Popcorn Sissy, Carpet Man Queen, Mr. Blue Carolina, OS High Yellow, and Biak, however you want to pronounce it.
So what does that one look like? Because that one's gone through its OCC on some level, right? It was a yellow Neo.
Yes, and it's very trending, much towards the high yellow. Let's see here. I sent you some pictures of that one when I first got it. Let me help you here. Let's see. It's going to be up in the first grouping. No, it's not. I lied. Wow, I don't know where it is. Anyways, it was just a pure yellow neonate when I picked it up, and
it was still a beautiful. It was a beautiful neonate, regardless.
Oh yeah.
So anybody who went to Daytona went by Carly's table, not this past Daytona, but was it it was a Daytona prior.
Yeah.
She had this little one on her table. Let me bring you back larger here.
So you can really see the single individual green. Yeah, a lot of single individual green scales, a lot of actual single individual white scales too coming in. I'm just going to try to increase the brightness.
That thing is holding on to yellow for its dear life. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, and because over all the years that I've seen these transition, pure Biaks always have a trend of staying high yellow, but when you get into the designers, they typically, I think other ones from the same clutch are trending more of that green wash over the whole body.
Yeah.
Or they may just turn green, and only a couple of them are trending more with the single green scales and the single white scales, which typically leads to that high yellow adult look. At least with the designers that have the high yellow lineages. So we're hoping that this one stays on that path. Let's see. Belly.
Yeah, that's a good looking animal. Good job, Jared, on snagging that one up.
Yeah, I saw that. And I saw the lineage and I was like, oh, there's no way at that price it's staying here. And I can't believe, it was a hidden gem on that table, She had a lot of merch on the table, hiding it in there, I'd say. But that is the first one that I bought getting back in.
All right, so from there, how many more have you added
since? Blood, actually, let me speak on that real quick. The Carpet Man Blood was bloodline that I always wanted. Joe Montini back in the day had that pairing put together. It's like Lucia Duffman, Carpet Man Queen. Like, I don't know if it was the same exact pairing, but it was blood related to it. And that's one thing that's big for me when investing into green tree python designers nowadays is I really want this older blood that I always wanted from before, or that I had in my collection and I had to sell off.
So what else have you added? I know you recently picked one up, a red.
So I did have another red that I picked up from Patrick Holmes at TX Contest. That one, gosh, what was the lineage on that thing? That was the barn lineage. So Christian Stewart, Blue Deuce, Watermelon.
Let me see which one of these. Is that one of these lineage charts? I just couldn't read
No,
it.
not one of the lineage charts. I didn't get a lineage chart with that one. But that one was the Blue Deuce Watermelon to a Bayak.
Okay.
And the super red neonate in the tub picture, I think I sent that one to you. Honestly, I can't remember anymore.
So we got a couple. Like, yeah.
So there's the one on the mirror.
The one on the mirror. Okay.
The blue sky. Yeah, so that one
That's
is the Blue Deuce Watermelon Bayak neonate from Patrick. And then in the first grouping of photos that I sent you, you can see the one where it's on the mirror with the black backdrop, and then the color changes under that is the OCC that's documented so far in photos. And this one had a really unique OCC. It kind of got like this dirty static orange look with like this burnt stripe kind of coming through.
That one is, so that's one of its.
Yeah, that's it right there. So you can see the stripe actually got way more pronounced and darkened with the reddish tones really sticking around it. But then all the rest of it was like a pixelated orange coming through.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And that was one of the most recent ones, and it's not translating as well, but this is another one. It's totally trending to the high yellow direction, and I didn't expect it to at all. So this was just a big surprise for me. I actually have that snake out here too to show off because it's incredible. Patrick might want it back. Come here, beautiful. Wow.
Bigger again.
This snake is amazing. Try to get it to focus on the snake though.
Yeah, but you can still get, there's still some blues along the dorsal too that you can see. Like a blue green. That one's pretty.
Let me get out of the camera. It might focus a little bit better. It's really gotten a lot lighter and a lot more pastel. Focus.
Right in there. Like, what are you doing to me? That is awesome. Holy cow.
A lot of people think green tree pythons are so bitey and mean. I mean, it's nighttime. I did wake them up a little before this and make sure that they were aware. I put them in little holding tubs just so I could have them out. But yeah, this
coloring on that one's awesome.
It definitely surprised me. It still has a lot of reds in its dorsal. I'm not sure how good it's picking it up.
It's picking up, so you see, like, you can see some of the blues too along the dorsal. Obviously,
and the greens on the on the little patterns on the nose.
Yeah.
Like the stripes are getting surrounded by like a greenish. Well, the stripes are going blue, and then little scales of green are just kind of speckling in everywhere.
And how old's that one now?
Shoot, this one has to be. This one was the slowest starter of the clutch. So when the other ones were about this size, it was still a neonate. So I think this one was about 1.5 years.
So far shedding female, or is it male shedding it?
I haven't gotten any
no hemipenes?
Hemipene sheds or nothing. Nothing clearly a butterfly. I think that's pretty in focus.
Yeah.
But you can even see the white florets coming in the dorsal.
Yeah. That's freaking awesome.
But yeah, these are These are definitely a passion that I grew up with ever since Reptiles magazine. I mean, I always had an asphyxiation for arboreals, but when I saw, I think it was like the 2002, 2003 Reptiles magazine, they had the green tree python on the front, and I loved the emerald tree boas because they always had the red, though it was like a reddish orange emerald tree boa on like the Zoom Ed products and everything.
Mhm.
But then the green tree pythons, I was more of a python guy because of the ball pythons and everything, and mainly the size. I lived with, when I was younger, I was living with my mom, obviously, as a kid, so I was allowed to have ball pythons, and I wasn't allowed to have any kind of giant boas. So an emerald that was big and scary with giant teeth was like, yeah, I'll never own that kind of. But a green tree python was like, I can dream.
So we're gonna pull up this one real quick.
Yeah, so this is one that I'm picking up from Tony Malorico at Fukin Chondros.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this one is SH0217 to a Jayapura, I think it was. Let me double check. I got it right here. SH07217. I knew I was missing a number. So that's Cyclops Maruki, and then he's crossed that to a Jayapura. So Cyclops Maruki Jayapura outcross, or locality cross, however you want to say it. It's the start of a designer lineage, you know?
Yeah.
That's how everything starts with designers. So, I mean, I've always, I've always looked up to Rico and his collection back before he passed, and it was unfortunate that, even if I was able to get any of the animals in the Rico auctions, the benefit auctions, when they did those, I still wouldn't, I probably would have had to have sold those with the collection. So it's probably better that I didn't, and other people did. And, but it was something that I always wanted, was to get Rico blood back into my collection. It's not Blue Boy blood. It's not crazy, and it's nothing crazy, tiger stripe or nothing, none of this crazy stuff, but just having some Rico blood that he was kind of procuring and selectively breeding, to me that's a step up, and it's not super deeply crossed with too much stuff to where I have to really kind of be careful about percentages or anything like that with different bloodlines.
What plans do you have as far as like future acquisitions, or do you have specifics in mind of like you're going down your list and what you want to add, or what are you looking at?
Yeah. So number one on my list right now is I really want some old Jason Stevens Blue Artifact Girl blood, and my boy Drew at Hypochondriac Chondros, he's got some amazing animals, not for sale right now or anything, but I'm definitely keeping an eye on what he produces out of those direct, I think they're direct clutch mates from the original female, from Ryan Burke and Jason Stevens pairings. So I'm definitely wanting some artifact blood from that female specifically. I know there's a little bit of other imported artifact blood out there. Wouldn't be opposed to that either. It's all phenomenal looking. And I've always wanted some Prada Maniquari blood. It would be nice to find like one of the old Prada Maniquari outcrosses that is getting, kind of recondensed together. I don't know if anybody out there is working any projects like that, but I know by now they've probably been crossed out again or bred back into some blue lines from some other lineages, and I'm sure those animals are phenomenal that are being produced today.
I like the stuff that Carly's gotten in.
All the high yellow and
oh my god,
basins. A basin is definitely on my list. or not a northern, but an Amazon basin.
Yeah, I like the high yellow stuff Carly got in. I like drool over it every time she posts it.
I'm sitting here at that both of those snakes, honestly, and I'm like, both of those snakes are gonna be high yellow, and I'm just like, yeah. I just, you can only hope, but I have a confidence that they're trending high yellow. I mean, if they get a lot of green, it is what it is. They're still gonna be beautiful, and I'm still gonna love them the same. It's just the excitement that these things. I'm I'm more confident that they're gonna go high yellow now that they're changing and how they're changing.
Yeah.
The yellow neonate that has more of the single green scales, I have more of a feeling that one can have like a half and half coverage, so to say, where it's like really covered in green on the back, but then it kind of speckles down like the pixelation into the yellow, more so on the body. I really like that look in the adult high yellows. That's always actually been my favorite look, where they had like that green stripe down the back, and then the rest of the body was kind of speckled high yellow.
Yeah. That's how my designer from Bill kind of went. But it wasn't like one. It was one little random scale here and there, and it was like one day I opened the thing and she was just straight green, and now she's getting more pixelation all up and down her body of like yellow and white scales. So I like the pixelation.
I was fortunate to be able to watch like all of what Bill did online, because I came in around 2013, but I bought in 2013, but I was watching, a year or two before then. So I saw Bill's company, Phoenix Reptiles, come up on Facebook, and I wanted babies from the original pairing that made the sickness, but I couldn't afford them, and he wasn't selling too many of them. But it's just amazing to see where this industry has come and what everybody's been doing with the green tree pythons and the lineages that, I mean, you can see the charts that we're going to pull up here in a minute, but those lineages that we had back in 2013 and 14 have just been added onto at this point, and selectively bred and added onto. So where, Godiva and Zeus, they're some of my favorites as far as the green tree pythons go, because they're some of the first true super blues that I remember knowing. And around that time, we had Bushmaster coming out with the new blue line from their Jayapura crosses over there, and just a lot of blue line stuff that was getting produced. And so blue line's definitely a passion of mine, but calico and Arfac, I mean, all of that kind of mixes in well together.
All right, so since you brought up the days, let's do these.
Yeah, so that was my second green tree python that I ever bought. Go to the other one first for me, just because it's the first green tree python that I ever got. And I know a couple people that are watching, they probably still have clutch mates to this animal. So this was a Vita Cernock production, VC 1306. It was a calico outcross to a Maruki pairing, and you can see that this calico male was a Cal Jr. Lemon Girl Mandango Kelme offspring, which, if anybody knows, that's the best calico lineage in the game. Computer Chondro and Aqua Girl really set it off with that whole lineage, and it was definitely an honor to own this female. This was the one that went to Matt at Philly Herp Culture that died when she was like 6'7" before she was able to breed.
Yeah.
But this animal's lineage almost goes back to the first pairing in recorded history, and that's in 1976. So Trooper Walsh down at the bottom there. And then, Trooper Walsh, he's a pioneer, definitely an icon in the industry, in our hobby. Back then, it wasn't even an industry. It was just these guys trying to breed and keep cool snakes out of the wild and get something going for us, and look at where we come from. So that's an amazing lineage. Definitely, if you're looking for calico blood, you want a chart that has that tree in it. And then the second animal was another Vita Cernock animal, but this was a joint pairing with Jason Masterfiend. That was VCJM 1411. And this comes from the Black Pearl lineage with Robert Worrell. And John Leckie is the breeder that's really still like breeding a lot of that true Black Pearl line that's really keeping its melanism. And those are the yellow neonates. All the clutch is yellow neonates. There's some now, I think, that, it's been mixed into reds and stuff, but the pure Black Pearl line from Jasper and Sapphire were always going to be those yellow neonates, full clutch, and they actually went melanistic over time. So the little baby with his nose sticking out of the egg is this hatchling.
It's going to be...
Yeah. And Vita always did a great job taking pictures of like the babies hatching and coming out before first shed. And so I had hundreds of pictures I could have shown you just because he sent CDs back in the day. But this was the cool one. You could see all the cut marks of it pipping on its own and everything. I don't know what's the whole deal nowadays. Do a lot of breeders cut with green tree python eggs now, or do they let them pip on their own still?
From people that I've talked to, they let the first few pip, and then from there they'll go from there. Now there's other breeders who just let them all pip still. It's kind of hit or miss. It's like the ball python.
I'm interested to see what what the success rates are with the cutters. Do you have any interviews that I can go back and look at for that, or anybody that you interviewed?
So since I've switched over to more Amazons, Ro has brought on, he's brought on more than a handful of people who have talked about it at this point.
Okay, I'll go.
Yeah, go back through his, because like I said, most of mine are Amazon interviews at this point, because, we all kind of crisscross into each other.
Cool. I'll definitely
go through Ro's interviews on his episodes.
And that's a tip for anybody watching too, because we want to share this information. And then the next photo of this animal is going to be where it's like a lime green with these reddish, burnt black scales, like they're reddish brown scales going all through the dorsal. Yeah. So that was the Black Pearl Blue Manokwari growing up through its OCC. We got a lot of these animals in the clutch got this kind of reddish scalation pattern that came through, and it was unique because they were yellow neonates, so reddish was different, and then the red got more brown and more brown. Never really got red, it just kind of looked like it was trending that way, and then it got darker and darker to where it went fully black on the lime green, which is the next image with the little blue patterns everywhere. And
Beautiful.
This was one of my favorite snakes that I ever owned. So far, you can't. I know nowadays there's other yellow neonates from different lineages, like different clutches where you can have mixed red and yellow neonates where the yellows will get melanism and stuff now. Yeah. But I still think that the Black Pearl line that John Leckie is working is the only one that was truly original to be like all yellow neonates that produce melanism. So that's super unique for me, and I want more of this blood so that I can work it into all my red stuff. And I know that I know Matthew Morris was working some of that Black Pearl mixed in with the red blood. Mm-hmm. And I know Matt Morris is a yellow neonate lover. He's an advocate for the yellow neonates. So if you got any of those red neonate Black Pearl line babies, hit me up. No, I'll hit you up. Maybe try one out before he freezes it. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That's always the joke, though. Back in the day.
Are you kidding now?
I love the red ones. He can keep all the yellows.
Listen, make yellow great again. Come on, Jared.
Hey, I can be honest that I love the yellows, but my direction is going to be the reds just because I'm really going for the blue and the calico line.
Now, as far as keeping, what do you currently use to house them?
So right now I have focus cubed habitats, alpha, and I think they're great. I didn't seal my edges around the inside of the enclosure, so I don't think that it holds as well of humidity as it could as if I did seal it. But as far as the aesthetic design, I like it. I think I'm going to be pivoting to something different coming up soon, though. I'm really liking the design of those F1 habitats for the arboreals, because they have the full clear fronts. But yeah, I'm not positive yet. Jordan, I definitely want to see if Jordan's going to make a single enclosure that I can afford. No, I'm just kidding. No, those things are amazing. But when he offers payment plans, I'll definitely get on a big old setup to where it's like a multi-housing, like a condo.
Yeah,
like
that,
condo enclosure,
basically, but not glass.
All built in, yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely invest into Jordan's enclosures one day, but for now, the PVC enclosures are just where it's at. And for anything that I have that's a neonate that's under 150 grams, I keep those in a 6-quart tub.
That's all right. I sent Jordan like a wish list too, and I was like, "Hey, this is what I'm looking at, but no rush. Just whatever, whatever you get to it."
Hey,
but these are my psychotic specifications. Like, he's
got that bender now, that press. He's about to be putting in all the bends and corners and twists and turns that we need. We need a ledge in the back corner shaped like a half moon. He's like, I got you.
I mean, for my Amazons, I do need a ledge at some point to be able to put in there.
Yeah.
All good, Jordan. Like I said, whenever. I told you no rush on it. So whenever.
An enclosure that's going to outlast the life of all of your animals. Definitely invest with Jordan.
Well, I'm just to a point where I want everything to be the same. Like the OCD in me is not allowing me to look, and I have like 20 million different brands. So
yeah. Yeah, I feel that way about different racks. Like I built one of my stacks in my hatchling rack out of like 3-tier combos, and then I just bought a whole combo rack that's like just as big as it. And I'm like, I just needed to replace this with the same thing so it's uniform. And it's just like a little bit taller because it's got the spacing between each level that's divided by 3 now on that one.
The OCD doesn't allow the lip.
And I'm like, I just want to get rid of that. I like things uniform. I think we all do. We keep snakes in drawers and stuff.
I mean, you want it to look like you want to look at it and you'd be like, oh, like this is nice, But then you get in the displays and it's even more so. Like you want to be able to look across and like this is good.
And it's like for some people, it might annoy them when they look at it and like every single enclosure has like the perches and the plant on the left and the light and the heat pad on the right and the water ball on the bottom right and a soaking bowl in the middle perfectly placed. And it's like, you guys are so OCD. And it's like, nah, they have to look right.
You're talking about probably 90% of the people that are watching this,
It's like, we got to have it right, People are going to say...
I guess we all do this because I'm sitting here thinking like how my stuff's set up behind me. It's like, yep, I have a plant in one corner, a plant in this corner, and then I have 2 live plants down here with them.
And every enclosure is the same. So it's also for, cleaning speed because you're like, boom, 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 bam, bam, done. Not like, oh, I need to decorate this and spend my time in here. It's like, no, this shit has places.
Yep, you just pull it out, clean everything, and keep it moving real quick.
Yeah.
So obviously you said your other species that you're hoping to bring on at some point was what? Basins?
Yeah, I want it. I definitely want. That's like my dream species. I would like to be on like the whole jump on the wagon with the Bolins because they're beautiful, but I just wouldn't want to have to deal with the space requirements and also just the gosh, what's the word for it? They're just so sensitive. That's what I'm thinking. The sensitivities, they're so sensitive, and I would just be worried about that. But if it wasn't for those sensitivities and the size of Ballins would be up there in competition, but I would rather have an 8-foot tree boa that doesn't want to eat my face off and has a full chain of diamond spikes down its back.
I like the white lip pythons too. I think they're pretty.
Those are cool, especially the northerns, the all black ones.
Yeah, I think they're pretty.
The other ones are all right.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years with this? Like, are you planning to continue to grow the ball pythons? Are you going to kind of grow everything? What does it look like for you?
So it's all an expansion game, right? When you're really invested and passionate about something, you're not afraid of expansion. You take it cautiously, But I think that in 5 years, I think that my collection is going to be. I think everybody's collection kind of puts them where they're at, but my collection will be putting me where I'm at in the sense of what I'm having success with, what odds I've hit on the ball python side and where that pushes me forward with shed testing and everything, being a big player in the game. With the green tree pythons, I definitely see myself pairing in 4 or 5 years because I'll give them about that much more time to grow. And I have a few more, I have the one from Tony coming in, so those will be, around the same size. I'll probably add a few more favorite lineages by then, more than likely neonates that I'll have to raise up. So 5 years, I'll probably have 1 female, 4 males, and one shot at producing eggs. That's how green tree pythons go, you hear the horror stories. I bought 5 neonates and all 5 are males, and
And you're stuck fishing for a female.
Yeah. Luckily, when I had my collection before, I actually had pretty good odds with females. My first one was a female. My second one was a male. The black pearl line was a male. The calico outcross Maroc was a female. And she was actually, for being a calico outcross Maroki, she was a yellow neonate. So coming from that lineage, all the red neonates went insane, melanistic and calico. But the yellow neonates just went pretty bland. They had a nice blue hue over the body, kind of like almost like a hormonal tone, but not. It was more like a shedding blue. They weren't in shed. You can show her off. She is in the outside picture. Let's see. If you go to, she's got the smile on her head. So
Smile.
this one is her neonate picture.
So we have that right here.
Yeah, that's her hatchling picture from Vita. So I named her Drama because if you look at her head, she has the smiley face if you're looking at it this way.
Better picture.
Yeah, the smiley face. But then if you were to like flip it upside down, she's got like a crying face where it's like 2 eyes with a teardrop kind of dripping. It's like it reminded me of the drama masks, So I named her Drama after the drama masks. And my joke with it was she was the only drama I wanted in my life anymore. But this snake was Yeah, my first love with green tree pythons. Yeah, I miss this snake a lot. I mean, she was just the cleanest yellow, and the galaxy of peppering of the pattern. And she didn't have the true diamonds. They all kind of looked like squiggles and wishbones, and the head and the face and the smiley and the sad. It was just like, yeah, she was one of my favorites. And as she progressed, you can see she just kind of got this green hue to her. And if your snake's going to go overall green as an adult, it's going to transition more so like this, where it gets a green hue. And it wasn't as strong. That's just a really big jump. But it really got like this kind of yellowy greenish hue. And then this was before it made its final transition to like full on lime green. And then it went to like that bluish hue that the calico yellows ended up getting as they aged, which was that last picture.
She's pretty.
Is it up there? Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the haze on that animal, when I posted her for sale, Matt didn't hesitate. He was like, "Yep, I want her. How much you want? How much you asking?" And honestly, before I shipped her, I was like, "Matt, I have to refund you. I can't sell it to you. I can't." Like, I was crying. I can't lie. I was crying. I was like, "I can't sell it to you." And he was like, and I was like, "But I'm a man and I made a deal." And I'm like 20. Gosh, I was what, 26 at the time, and that was my favorite snake ever. So I was just like, it was like a little bit of like a last plead, like, just let me refund you the money. He was like, "Nah, ship her." I was like, "All right, I'll ship her." And shout out to Matt. He took good care of her. Always answered my calls and my messages when I was like, "Hey, how's that girl doing?" Because I did check up on her, and I did ask many times over the years to buy her back from him, and he stuck to his guns. "Nope, I'm a breeder. Nope, I'm a breeder."
She's pretty.
Yeah, and it's just like a classic green tree python. She wasn't anything spectacular, but genetically, if you were to pair that animal with a red designer outcross neonate male, I mean, the potential in the red neonate offspring that you would get from that pairing is unlimited. It's like a bag of Skittles, because she's got all the calico bloodline, and even though she doesn't express it, she was a yellow neonate, so all the reds that she could produce with the right male could really express and just be like truly a bag of Skittles. You wouldn't know which direction it would go at that point.
All right, we're going to pull this back up. Talk to us about this.
Gem Exotics, yep. So it's been in the making for a while now. It's kind of been in the name of the company, Selective Creations. Selective Creations is it's kind of like deeper thinking, because we're selective breeding animals. I'm selectively creating my path of what I want to create, what I want to breed, and what I want to do. But at the same time, it encompasses multiple different things, anything I really want to go after. So it was always planned to be like the umbrella company, like the holding company or a parent company, and then have these kind of more specific focused companies under it. And Gem Exotics is going to be my company for the reptile breeding, and the acronym stands for Genetic Expression Mastery Exotics, because I think we all kind of focus on selectively breeding for genetic expression, and we all kind of want to master that, and we all want to get that best quality of expressions. Mastery is something we're always working towards, and you have to be passionate about something to truly dive in to want to become the level of a master. And I feel like all the years that I've been studying, it sets me up to really focus in and teach myself what I've learned, and I like to express that on my show, and I talk about things I see and this and that, but I'm at the point in my journey that I'm proving it to myself. I mean, I've bred animals, I've bred ball pythons, I've bred, geckos, I've bred corn snakes. It's not as much of a challenge to do the breeding. It's more so the drive to want to see what I can't. It's the drive to produce what I can only imagine at this point. And through these gaps in the industry where we, had the market crashes, the ball pythons, and just the reptile industry in general, but the ball pythons I feel like always took the biggest hit, or were always like the most out there in the known because they were the biggest market. But when these markets were going down and crashing, you saw people lose inspiration, and they'd get out, and then you'd see like people hit walls with combinations and morphs, and we're at a whole different point in this industry now. Like, there's different mutations coming in every year. I have 4 imports in my bins in my collection right now that, they're testing negative for everything on panels, and they're super strong visual, potentials. And with all the excitement and the endless possibilities of what we could create, it's like I'm just ready to prove to myself that I can be at the top, because I know that I've studied for it. And I know I'm ready and I'm coming. That's for sure. And it's not a threat to nobody. I want everybody to succeed. I'm not saying I'm coming for nothing other than I'm coming for the dream that I had, that I grew up with as a child. That's what I'm coming for.
All right. So before we wrap it up, go ahead and tell everybody how they can get a hold of you, plug your podcast.
Heck yeah. So reach out to me on Instagram. Selective Creations LLC is the main page. It is in the process. I was transitioning it to the Gem Exotics. So Facebook Meta stumbled me up on the name change, because they're like, we can't verify your name change. So I pulled back on just having the logo up right now. We're still Selective Creations. Had to pull back on the verification so that I can get the name change and then re-verify. It's like a whole process, but we are going forward as Gem_Exotics, and you'll find us on YouTube. The Genetic Canvas is on the Whiskey Bomb Network, Keys Constrictors YouTube channel, and Selective Creations YouTube channel. Watch us every Tuesday. We cover a morph every week, and Herp Collectors Network also has an amazing show on mutations called the Morph Map. So make sure you guys check out both shows, because just like me growing up, you can never learn enough about this. And even now, I can never learn enough about it. I'm still learning every day. There's still different interactions that are pretty simple that a lot of us haven't seen. And if we have seen it, we're like, oh shit, I didn't even remember it looked like that sometimes, because it's been a while since we've seen them. So, but yeah, check us out on YouTube. You're going to see us there every week. You're going to get updates on what's going on. Subscribe to the channels, Herp Collectors and the Whiskey Bomb Network. There's a show every day of the week, both networks. Definitely come over to ours. We got some new ones dropping, a sports show. Definitely want to plug that for the boys. There's the Tim Fitted podcast, where we're talking conspiracies, Snake Cinema, where it's like music and arts. We got the Great Outdoors, where it's like hunting and fishing. So like, we're doing it all. We're not just a snake network or a reptile network. A little bit of everything. And I love what you guys are doing over here on the Herp Collectors Network, and the variety that you guys have is amazing. Definitely, if you guys aren't subscribed, subscribe to both channels, hit that like button, and comment #ReplayGang, because I'm on a podcast, so I can tell you guys to do that too. But besides that, you can find me on Facebook. I'm occasionally on there, not as much as I used to be by any means. I do have a Patreon, and I'm just on there posting clutch identification videos, behind the scene action of what I'm working on, what I'm producing, what I'm building over here. So, you get some first dibs from some amazing collections on that. Definitely consider it. Check it out. The benefits don't stop just with me. They go on to coming from people that are close to me also. So definitely, if you're into Mandarin and Monarch and all that stuff, my buddy Brandon at Righteous Reptiles, he's been putting some deals out through that Patreon. So just check it out. I'm not forcing nobody to join. And I think that's about it. Morph Market, definitely follow me on Morph Market. Gonna have some clutches updating there soon. My son's cutting a clutch Friday on Hair Down, so his first clutch. He's 8 years old. He
That's
beat me
awesome.
by like 3 years. I was 12 when I had my first eggs hatch.
That's
So
awesome.
4 years, but yeah, catch us on Hair Down. Catch us on Tuesdays. Morph Market, Instagram, mainly where I'll be.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I'm going to throw you backstage real quick, and then I'll come back and join you, okay?
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. All right, everyone. That concludes another episode of the Conjure Corner on the Herp Collector Network. Like Jared said, if you're catching the replay, don't forget to do #ReplayGang. Otherwise, we appreciate you guys coming on, and we hope you have a great evening.
Condo, corner where we rise and grow. Twist and turn, let the passion flow. Condo, corner watch the future shine. Every scale a story, one of a kind.
From the shadows we move, striking out bright. In every twist we find the light. Breeding the best, gotta have patience in this game. Chondro Corner, where we make our name. Chondro Corner, Chondro Corner, Chondro Corner, Chondro Corner, Chondro Corner, Chondro Corner, Chondro Corner. Chondro Corner, where we rise and grow. Twist and turn, let the passion flow. Chondro Corner, watch the future shine.